What's up guys, Ghost here bringing you another episode of Low Liga Tips, the series where you guys send in replays to me, I cast the games and do my best to give you some tips on your gameplay. This game here was submitted by Rasofe, and he says apparently that he goes for his classy mech play, and his opponent, as he puts it, goes for some weird kind of mech. So we'll see how this one pans out. He's going to be playing down here in the bottom right corner as Terran, and his opponent, of course, Terran as well, is going to be up here in the top left. His name is Essie. Now, he did say in his post that this map, Belshire Vestige, is probably one of his worst to play on, and I can totally see why. It's not one of my favourites either, mate. So you have your expansion down here. It has a really wide choke here to block off and defend. There's a ramp here, there's a second ramp there, and there's a third ramp there. You have an expansion here, which, has these rocks. That's about it, all you've got for defense. And then you have one here as well that has yet another ramp. So there are lots of angles of attack on this map. It is quite large, so I don't think we're going to see any super fast rushes or anything like that from these players. He's scouting here the natural, and then he's going to move on to scout the base, of course. I think both players are going to end up fast expanding, basically. That's the norm. Now, Essie here has decided, oh right, he's actually going 2 racks, so he's going to do that, whereas Rastofe has decided to block himself in here. Now, this is a bit of a debate whether to actually wall in with your racks in TVT. If you opt to do as Essie has done, you can actually really hide your tech a lot better, if you keep it well back like here, so that even if he goes all the way up the ramp with the unit, he's not going to see this tech. You can do things like placing a barracks here and then building a tech lab or reactor and swapping that with a factory to get out either some fast Hellions or get out fast tanks. I often like to do that. In fact, I do it in most of my TVTs. If I'm going to go tanks, I will get them out as fast as possible, get an expansion down here as fast as possible, and then I have those tanks up nice and early in order to defend. That being said, blocking in does have its advantage. That means you get a block up nice and early, but as Essie is doing here, you can just as easily use a bunker, and I would personally probably put it here. This is a nice spot too, but that just comes down to personal preference, I suppose. So both players here, it seems, have gone for double racks before CC. I'm not sure I really agree with that. I mean, the distances between them here are quite large. I feel that they could have definitely gotten away with going 1 racks into expansion, and then, getting down their factory there, no problem at all. Workers, they are dead even now, and if you look at the production, they actually appear to be going almost identical builds, really. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like communicating either over Skype or something what builds they're doing. Nah, I'm only joking. I know you guys wouldn't do that. He's getting concussive shells here, so that means he's most likely going to be getting out a few marauders and possibly committing here to bio. There we go with the command center. He is going to be expanding fairly soon, as is Essie. So these two players are almost mirroring each other's play here, move by move. Okay, here a few changes have started to emerge. So he's going to go for some upgrades here with the engineering bay. So we may be seeing bio play from this player, although Rasofe does say he goes some weird kind of mech, so I'm not exactly sure what that is going to be. I like that Essie has control of his tower here. He's just taken the scouting SCV, retreated, and got control here. These middle rocks here can be destroyed to just ease the passage between bases, shortening that distance. So that's yet another reason, those rocks are there at the start of the game, so no rushes are going to be able to go through there. They're going to have to go the long way around up into the enemy base. Now, Rasofe has actually got a few units out here. Ooh, Essie almost got seen there. He's looking here to scout the expansion, and he's seen these units. Is Rasofe going to be moving out with these? He may be going to go see if he can do some damage here with a little attack. Or, I'm not sure actually, what he's actually doing with these. Oh, okay, maybe he's just simply trying to secure his expansion. Got a bunker going down for Essie here. 2 bunkers. Okay, he may have seen this with his Marine, and I think he thought that that was actually an incoming attack, and he's actually reacting to that right now. Whereas I think, as you guys can see, he's just securing the expansion right now. He's not thinking about attacking. So there you go. 8 PM for both players here. SE at a crazy 120. Rasofe at a steady 47. I'm not sure if that's just keyboard spam. More likely than not. If you're a new player out there, I know it is kind of tempting to, you know, spam stuff at the start. But I find, at least in my experience, that, you know, spamming those keys at the start, it just confuses me more than anything else. And I find I'm much likelier to actually mess up my build order if I'm sort of thinking about spamming the keys at the same time. And here we have SE finally moving out to take his own expansion. So things are shaping up pretty even right here, guys. Wait a second. We have a Raven coming out. So he's gone, invested in Starport Tech here with a tech lag and a third barracks. So he's going to be going pretty heavy bio here. Raven. And actually throwing a reactor onto that factory there. So there aren't going to be... Well, he's produced one tank, but it looks like there isn't going to be any more tanks coming out very soon. Also starting his engineering base. So he's going to be going up for some upgrades right there. And army sizes, Rasofe is pulling ahead slightly right now. Worker counts, again, almost dead even there. This is going to be interesting to see how this pans out. I'm not really sure what he's going to do with this Raven because it's very early. Maybe he's just going to stay back here, you know, get some energy, and he's going to use those Seeker missiles later on. Ravens are a great harassment unit. You can, you know, come in behind the mineral line here. Although it's not going to be so easy because SC's actually decided to get turrets up here as a precaution. But you can drop automatic turrets here, you know, stop those SCVs from mining for a short while. You can either Seeker missile the SCVs. Seeker missiles, not quite as good as they used to be when there wasn't the delay before they started traveling, but nevertheless, a very, very potent unit. And what's this down here? Okay, he's got a Hellion here scouting around. Scouting with a Marine up this way, so I really like SE's map control right now. He's doing a great job. He's got both the towers, and he sees what's going on. And he's actually moving up with a dropship here with a couple of Hellbats. So he's got the map control. He realizes that Rasofe isn't out anywhere on the map. And I wonder actually why he's taking the dropship this long way around. Because, I mean, he can see here, he has all that map control. And all over here. So he could really just, you know, cut his distance down the middle of the map. He doesn't really need to be taking that precaution, I feel, at this point. Rasofe, at the same time, this is interesting, he's moving out with his Raven, and he looks to be going to cause some harass, and he passes another dropship from SE that has, again, 2 Hellbats, so he's going for a double-pronged drop right here. I think he's going to be hitting his main up here, as well as his natural from the bottom. And, oh! Nice job there by SE, he manages to pull that Marine off, and only loses one Marine there to the Seeker missile. And he's actually just gotten a sensor tower up, so that's very nice map control from him. He's gonna see any drop coming in. There's a turret there. He's got a turret in his main. He's got a turret there, so he's pretty much completely covered from early game drops right now. He's got a sensor tower up here. He has map control, so he knows exactly what's going on. That was a little bit of a waste. Maybe that was just a bad reaction by Rasofe there. He thought he was going to lose the Raven. And oh dear, I think I just missed that. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. It looks like he's just gone down here and dropped 2 Hellbats into the mineral line. And the other 2 are in here. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I completely missed that. He's doing a lot of damage here at the mineral line, though. Marines coming in there. Not the best unit to deal with these Hellbats, and they're still alive. Oh, one goes down, the other... Oh, and the other goes down with the help of those 2 Vikings there. It looks like these 2 that dropped in here, they got shut down pretty early. I can see he still has 16 workers there. And I think this... Yeah, his main army will have been here. So I think he run in there, shut that down pretty fast. But at the same time, the double-pronged attack, baby, he dropped here as well. And SE gonna seize upon this chance to take his 3rd expansion. You know, he's putting a little bit of pressure. If we look at the army losses, 818 there for Rasofe and 750, just slightly less for SE, so things are pretty even right now. The worker count, wow, SE is actually quite ahead after he took out quite a few SCVs Rasofe's main, so he's about 13 workers ahead right now. Rasofe's going to have to do some work to pull that one back. And another sensor tower here, I really like this from him. He's, you know, he's not going to be caught unawares, that's for sure. And he's building yet more Hellbats, so is this what Rasofe was referring to with his kind of weird style of mech? Now, you're going to have to dump your minerals into something as a Terran player. When you go mech, you're going to want to get these power units. The units that cost the Vespian gas. You know, tanks, Thors, Banshees, etc. And you're going to end up with a lot of a lot of minerals left over. And you're going to have to dump those into something, whether that be Marines or whether it be Hellbats. They are mineral-only units, and both have their pluses and their minuses. Marines, I would say, I mean, they're great. They're very maneuverable, especially if you get stim and combat shields with them. They can shoot air, whereas Hellbats, you know, they're pretty slow, really. They can't shoot air. Their range isn't great. Let's just actually take a look. I mean, they have a range of 2. Marines have a range of 5. So, oh, and here comes SE with more dropping. He looks to have dropped in there and denied Rasofe, but he loses that there. Nice play by Rasofe. Taking the dropship down. One Hellbot, though, manages to unload. And is it going to take out some of these SCVs? Come on, Vikings, get that Hellbat. Oh, he's so close. Now you see exactly one of the weaknesses of the Hellbat. So slow and so little range. It really doesn't cut it, in my opinion, against the Marine. One plus side to getting the Hellbat is they share the same upgrades as the tank. So you can get, I like to get that early armory out at least. If I'm going to go Hellbat tank, get out an early armory, start getting +1 attack. There we go, he's got +1 attack ready. Well, not ready, but it's on the way at least. That's something. You know, and keep working on those upgrades from an early game. You don't have to worry about upgrades for both bio and mech. Although that said, Rasofe here, he's got Terran infantry and armor level 2 on the way here, so he's definitely pulling ahead in the upgrades. And now he's almost losing his Raven here. Nice deploy of the defense drone there. Saves his Raven. Watch out for those dropships, though. He's actually forced him to lift off his command center here, shut that down for a while, and we have a bit of a stalemate between the tanks. And oh dear, watch out for those dropships. They're gonna get killed. Rasofe! Oh dear me. Does he have them? Okay. He doesn't have them on a control group, so they're pretty much just flying around by themselves now. That isn't good. And here the stalemate between the tanks. It seems that he has gone and lost most of the Hellbats there. He's got a few Vikings left over and 1 tank. And Rasofe, he looks to be moving in for the kill here. He's not having any of this. He says, fuck you, man. I'm going to come and get you. However, he does have sensor towers covering everything, so he's going to see this coming. He's pulling the Hellbats back there, pulling his tanks back, pulling the Vikings back, and he's going to prepare for this attack. He sees it coming. Is he going to be able to snipe off this command center? Not with that tank line up there. Now, this is the thing. He's left his tanks down here, you know. Rasofe here, he's not really keeping his army together before he let those dropships float away and they ended up dying. And now he doesn't have his tanks with his army. And if he wants to push up here and push into the base, he needs that tank line. Without a tank line, you really can't press any sort of advantage that you have. Rasofe here seizing control of the middle. SE now has no notion of what is happening in the middle. He's lost both of his Marines at the towers. Although he's moving in here into sensor tower range. SE sees that. He's going to get in position. But this is the thing about this map, man. You have so many angles to cover. You know, he's got this angle here, this one, this angle. There are just so many places that he could potentially be attacked from. How are we doing on upgrades? Okay, 1 attack power for mech, and he's got 2-1 on the way, whereas Rasofe has 2-2 finished in the bag and 1 attack for mech. I would actually like to see him have got an attack for mech earlier and defense, or should I say armor for the Marines as he runs in here to the 3rd expansion. He's going to be taking out some production facilities. Nice play there by Rasofe, catching SE unawares, staying out of range of that tank line. That's how it's done. And he takes out that third expansion there. But oh dear, he's not paying attention to these units. Where are they going? What are they doing? And what is SE doing? He could be easily killing us off right now. You know, a Thor, you definitely want to kill those. And he doesn't manage to. And Rastofe really needs to save this Thor. He should just pull a couple of SCVs up to the north here and let it repair that Thor. Always a good idea if you're running with Thors. Have a couple of SCVs at all times, you know. Don't take them into the fight. Just keep them back a little ways. And you can always repair those Thors. That Thor there going into combat, he's going to get one shot off and then he's going to get insta-gimped. So, yeah. Here we have a tank line, and Rastofe is running straight into that. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. He should maybe pull back at the moment. He's going to lose a lot of Marines. Oh, yep, more Marines going down there. He does have the army advantage here. He's at 150 to 120, and with that move there, he manages to kill yet more SCVs. So that's nice by him, but I wonder, if I were him, I probably would have taken that expansion and retreated. I mean, you know, taking that expansion, retreated back, taken another expansion of my own and play the long game. But he's now camping outside SE's base, so this might be lights out to SE right here. He does have a third here, and he has like a buttload of command centers, so he could go and expand. He can float a new CC up to here. He can go and expand in another place as well, so Rasofe has to be careful with his army. His Thors are really the bulk of it here, and they are dwindling down in health. He has no SCVs here to repair them, so if he loses those, he's not really so powerful all of a sudden. 3-3 bio here on the way from Rastofe, and 2 vehicle weapons about finished there. Personally, I like to invest more into mech weaponry and more into my bio's armor. You know, I feel like the mech is really, those are the expensive units, and those are the ones that you're going to want to keep back and defend and you know, sort of do the damage, but you don't want those units to be damaged. The bio, really the Marines is just cannon fodder, effectively. You're not really going to be using those to do the main, like the majority of your damage of your army. They're really just to sort of protect your tanks. So in my opinion, it's better getting combat shields, which I don't think he has. In fact, he doesn't. I think he just forgot that he hasn't gotten combat shields. Usually in TVT, I get combat shields before I get stim, if I'm going mech, that is to say. And now he's caught him unawares here. There is a planetary fortress to defend down here at the third, but not a lot else. Oh boy, he's just gotten 3 command centers for free. That's 1,200 minerals down the drain for SE right there, so that was careless. I definitely would have put a sentry tower up here, because if anywhere is going to get attacked, it's most likely from this direction. Once you get up to that 4th expansion there, this is a very, very weak area, very easy indeed to attack. And we're having an exchange in the middle now. Things seem to be evening out somewhat, although SE is lagging behind hugely in army size right here. Although those Thors, you know, once again, low on health. How are we doing on workers? Wow, well done to Rasofe there. He was behind in workers, if you remember, after that Hellbat harass. He's now pulled forward 30 workers ahead there as he moves on up into the main of SE. Or almost the main. The main natural, I suppose I would say. Taking out those Hellbats. Oh, watch the Thors. They're going to die. You know, I wonder if it would have been a nice idea for Rasofe when he saw how many Hellbats SE was making to get out some Banshees, because the real one weakness, and oh dear, as those Thors go down, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen there. You know, that is a lot of minerals, and he's got to drop in here, try and take out that tank. Although it looks as though the bunker here up on the high ground is finally going to come of some use and take care of those Marines there. A couple of Reapers coming down here, that's a bit of a surprise. I think that was probably a misclick on his part when he was macroing there. And now he's taking out SCVs at the expansion, so that's bad for him. You know, Rasofe is looking really strong right here. He has a lot of idle SCVs here. He probably needs to expand again. He's got a lot of minerals stacking up, and these are going to be finished soon, so he has to think about some other form of income for himself. Again, with the tanks there, if I had to criticize one thing right now about Rasofe's play, it's his hotkeys. He doesn't have anything hotkeyed, you know. Here he has his entire army. None of it's hotkeyed. He has one random tank on key 2 and nothing else, you know. That's why his army is sort of wandering all over the place, and there's some tanks here, there's one there needlessly dying, there are some marines here, and everything's kind of all over the place, you know. I would definitely have my marines, my bio on key 1, you know, you're going to be using those the most, stepping around, stimming, etc. Tanks on key 2, so you can hit D or E to deploy, or, you know, undeploy siege mode. And then on key 3, have those dropships. If you would have had those dropships earlier, the engagement that happened here, if he would have had those dropships on key 3, he probably wouldn't be able to pull them back, no problem at all. He's now harassing the 3rd of SE again. He managed to get another command center up here, started mining again, and he's harassing the 3rd, although it looks like he's about to get shut down right here. You can see here, even though we're at 3-2 upgrades on these Hellbats, they are just not cutting it anymore. They're slow. They're just being, you know, danced around by this bio play here. They're really not doing anything. The tanks are just, they're cannon fodder for tanks. I feel just in the late game, Hellbats just really don't cut it against good old-fashioned bio. And he's actually forced to distance mine here from his 3rd. And he needs to repair that CC if he wants that to survive. He should really repair that, take these SCVs here and start them mining there, because distance mining like this is not an effective tool at all. And what do we have here? Oh right, the Hellion from the start of the round has been denying this expansion the entire game. Rasofe brings down his entire army, and oh no, what's going on here? SC's with a counter. He's going to go in and take Rasofe's only mining base. Oh, he pulls some SCVs off there, probably to transfer it over here. And what's going on? Rasofe's army is still over here. Oh, that was a mistake by Rasofe. He only needed to send one marauder to deal with that Hellion. It was completely unnecessary for him to send his entire army down there. Oh my god. This could not be a more juicier situation for SC. Toasting SCVs. Oh, finish them off, finish them off. Oh, well played there to SC with a counter. I mean, he was very lucky there that Rasofe's army was out of position, but that may have just put him back in the game. SC now ahead in worker count. He's at 34 to 25 right now. If you remember, Rasofe had 75 workers before, so I think he literally just lost 50 workers right there. That is a big blow to him. Although that said, it does appear here that Rasofe has more than double the army size of SE, and he's moving up for another counter right here. I think this is going to be good night for SE. He doesn't have anything. He's got a few Hellbats there. There's really not a lot he can do. Do we have hotkeys? Okay, he's got something to hotkey now. Now he's hotkeyed his army. That's something you have to remember, guys. You know, don't put your whole army on one key. You want your Vikings on one key, your tanks on another, and your mobile army that's sort of going to be going in and out. You know, you're going to be microing around with the most on key 1. You know, these are a separate entity, really. You're going to want to use these to scout and to take out enemy dropships, etc. The tanks, you're going to want to have them on there. But Rasofe says, you know what, I don't need hotkeys. I'm just going to A-attack, move into there. He knows by this point, I think, that he's won the game. Taking out that command center there as the SCVs ruthlessly try and repair it, and GG. Well played there to Rasofe. Actually, there was no GG. I guess SE was kind of pissed. He just leaves the game, so kind of BM from him, but whatevs. Right, guys. Well, what can I say about that? I think Rasofe did a good job there. He is a Platinum player, as far as I know, when he played this game. So, to any of you lower league players out there, you know, hopefully you've learned something from this game. Hopefully from myself and also from Rasofe and SE's play. I really feel that the combo that SE chose, you know, those Hellbats and tanks, that really kicked him in the teeth. I just don't think it was cutting it in the late game. I think he should have taken advantage of the fact that they share the same upgrades, and he should have gotten double upgrades going on right from the start. I love the Hellbat drops, however. I feel they would have been much more effective if they'd just been Hellions, you know. He would have easily been able to roast a lot of those Marines. Excuse me. A lot of that bio would have been roasted by the Hellions, no problem at all. From Rasofe, it would have been interesting to see him throw in Banshees, maybe instead of the Thors, you know, have invested that gas in Banshees. One of the weaknesses, obviously, of the Hellbat and tank mech play is that it can't shoot air. So really the only thing that SE had to take out air were the Vikings. And those can be easily, you know, avoided via cloak or simply flying away from them. Another thing to remember is that in TVT, scanning is critical. You're always gonna want to be using those scans to check out the enemy's positioning. So scans are very, very precious in TVT. And if you have a one Banshee and you cloak it, that means your enemy is going to have to waste a scan, and you can then just run away out of the scan, no problem at all. Anyway guys, as I said before, I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button down below. I would really appreciate that. If you would like to submit a replay yourself, there are two ways you can do this. You can either PM me on YouTube, upload your replay to drop.sc, and then give me a link to it in the PM, along with a small concise explanation of the matchup, how it went, etc. And just sort of what kind of points in the game you would maybe like to get help with. The other way you can do it is to email me as an attachment. You can send those in to ghostmbb@gmail.com. And ever since I made the first cast, I've had a lot of TVT sent in to me, so please, anyone out there who would like to send in something that isn't a TVT, feel free to do so. Anyway guys, thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.